then you figure out how to do it more efficiently.
I've already spoken about needs and wants and prioritizing the needs. I would suggest, if elected, that I would ask questions at the school board meetings, and my question would be, if we do this, how's that going to raise performance? Tell me how it's going to raise performance. Show me. And if they can, good. And then I'm going to hold them accountable. And if the same person brings another suggestion in, and the last one failed, I'm going to look at it a little bit more circumspect, I guess I would say. Looking at the budget right now, there's a false premise. People talk about, well, we got to cut programs or we got to raise taxes. Looking at the budget, I think there's enough in there right now to where we can balance the budget and not cut programs. I don't understand that. You know, sometimes taxing authorities, the first thing they say to you is we're gonna cut policemen, firemen, and all the things that you expect. Well, we're not gonna do that if I get to vote on it. We're not gonna cut programs unless we absolutely have to. We're gonna cut other things, and there's a lot of other things to be cut. The building plan right now, I've already talked to Mr. Redding about the tech prep. Right now, it might be a good idea, but not right now. On the exemption, this is so fundamental to me. Never. The people rule this country, the citizens. Never, ever bypass the citizens.
Just in operations, it's my understanding that it costs this district $5 million plus more to school 800 fewer students. Now, I don't know if that's the case, but that's what I read in the paper. Again, Superintendent Redding, I understand. If that's the case, I guess my question to you is, are you willing to check out what New Oxford has that we don't? Because we're just talking about operations costs here.
I don't know what's going on there. Do they have the block schedule? I don't know. Is there some efficiencies that we're losing because of the block schedule? And so I don't know that either. They have a better student-teacher ratio than we do. They're doing something okay in Conewago Valley. I just don't know what it is yet. But we ought to find out, don't you think?
That's my question. That's my question.
I would be in favor of looking at any district that is, that for examples of better performance, for examples of better budgeting. I think we should also be looking at other schools within our district. Our district currently has 3 now public charter schools with nearly 100 students withdrawn from the Gettysburg traditional public school to attend our charters at a cost of just under $1 million for this year. I think we should be looking at what the charter schools are doing that parents really like, to see what we should be including in the traditional school. I think we should be looking at all of the examples.
I concur. If you were asking, should we keep an open mind and be looking at what is working for a similar school district as ours and learn from them? Absolutely. That's the only way any of us learn, is by asking questions, seeing those who do something a little better than us and learning from that. That being said, my only other thought, I know nothing about Conewago School District, but I'm assuming their tax base, as far as real estate taxes, has a lot more industry and a lot more taxable property than what Gettysburg District has to pull from. Perhaps that is a benefit, a perk for living in Conewago School District. We are spread out. A lot of us are paying taxes, and then you have some nonprofits and the Park Service and other educational institutions that aren't paying taxes.
Why does our district cost so much more than they? I can't answer that question without a bit of research, but I can tell you this, that if you look at, again, Iredell Statesville in North Carolina, they have one of the lowest cost per student districts in the state, and yet they're in the top 10 in the state. And you look at things like that, and you look at Conewago. Okay, what are they doing that's better? Let's find out. Best practices. We've got to find out what those best practices are. We cannot look away from the opportunities that we have to learn. One of the things that I've been talking with the Keystone Alliance for Performance Excellence here is, for, as part of their November conference, can we have a free half-day educational summit where we have educators from across the state could come in to Harrisburg, and at no cost other than they're traveling in there, listen to what Montgomery County Schools have done, listen to what other schools have done, see what somebody's best practices are, and start to gain from that. We have to see if we can set that up. To do it, we've got to get the interest of a lot of school districts that they would send people, and I have not yet started that. I'm going to be looking at that after the primaries.
If they're doing something better than we are, we ought to go see what it is. The only thing that comes to mind right off is I believe they have one less school building than we do. I think they have a high school, middle school, and intermediate school, and 2 elementary schools. Other than that, I can't tell you where the money differences are without looking at both budgets.
I think it's a shame that everybody was not here tonight that's on the ballot, but I think that we were exposed to 5 very thoughtful people that really care an awful lot, and I know I learned a lot tonight, and I thank all of the people on the panel that did show up. This is a great exercise. I'm glad that we worked together and for the betterment of the community and did this. And so I am sure that if you had any personal questions that you wanted to ask any of these folks tonight, I just want to remind you that there is, I think all of the candidates are on both the Democratic and the Republican ballot. So you can talk to all of your neighbors, whether they be Democrat or Republican, and say, you know, I listened to such and such and they were pretty wonderful, and try and help these folks that are caring about your feedback. So please vote, get your friends to vote, get on out there on election day, and it's May 17th, and the polls are open from 7 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock at night. And so again, on behalf of Betsy and the Adams County Republican Committee, and myself with the Adams County Democratic Committee, we thank you very, very much for coming out tonight and